The question is how many people, okay, that's a lie. If you're watching this review, you probably heard of Carlo Acutis, the first millennial saint, and this movie discussed his life? Or does it? Was I expecting more? The short answer is yes, but I still think I earned enough to be like interesting. All right, Chase Slack here with the Blue Futon reviewing Carlo Acutis' Roadmap to Reality. That might have been a horrible intro, but anyway, what is this about? This talks about the saint, Carlo Acutis, but it also talks about these college students going to Rome to visit him from St. Mary's of Life in North Dakota. And then we are also talking to different priests that are talking about this technology and how we are photocopies and how we are all online, which is, not making us religious. It's not making us real. And we're relying so much on this technology that we kind of forget what's in front of us. And that is an interesting thing because Saint Carlo Acutis, he is more, like I said, a millennial saint, which he liked video games, but only made sure he played like an hour a week or an hour a day. He was videotaping. He did a lot of stuff doing the, putting miracles online and did a lot of stuff of spreading the word of God. And with him as a saint, it's very fascinating because if you actually look at his life story, which it does tell it, his parents weren't really religious. It was the nanny that came and brought him to church like at 3 years old. And that's when he really got into religion very, very, very young. And I think his mom went to church 3 times before giving birth to St. Acutis. So there's interesting aspects of that when looking into this. You also talk about a Belmont church in Texas, which, has a St. Acutis as his, or as their saint of the church. And we, like I said, we talked to these college students as well of not bringing their phone to Rome and just taking in the sights and learning what they're actually accomplishing. Like I said, and is a lot of this movie is about technology and how we've moved so fast, and that's where we're going at in AI. And I do like that message because it is kind of scary how fast we're moving, and we're just like willing to take it. We're like, okay, GPT, go, go, go. And I'm not the biggest fan of that. But I do wish we did get more of St. Acutis and his life story, because I know he died of not leukemia, or was it leukemia? I'm not mistaken, but very young age. And he knew when he entered the hospital, he's like, I'm not going to make it out alive, and I'm at peace. So it's just kind of crazy when you have a young saint like that, knowing that his end is coming. Just haunts the living crap out of me of things like that. And then I think the most haunting thing is seeing his body in Rome, because they actually do show it of him being in the casket, because there's like a glass and you could actually see him. It's like, dang. And I think what makes it more crazy is you're used to these saints having these old robes of the 1900s, 1800s here. He's wearing his Nikes, his jeans, and like a tracksuit. So you're like, if that person could be a saint, can I? And the answer is no. There's no way I'm going to be a saint, period, end of subject. So I'm not going to be sacrilegious at all. But I do think it's very fascinating of how the saint is portrayed and what is actually he's done for the church of trying to get younger people back into the church, which is interesting because I think a new study is this new generation coming up, not the bummy ones that are like 25 to 34. The ones before that, I can't remember, like the millennials, the Gen Z. I don't know, the one that's like the 23 to like 16 right now. They're actually getting more religious, they're becoming more conservative, and they're actually like wanting to contribute more, not expecting everything to come free for them. Like the middle 20-year-olds right now, they're just great freaking bums on some of them. Not all of them. Some of them really like to work, but some of them, man, I've met some of them, jeez. Ooh, buddy, it's a different thing because me growing up, I had like 3 jobs, and I loved working at a movie theater, Brookshire's, and I was a low stalker. I worked at GameStop once a week to get that discount, or at a hospital. I did so much stuff, just like gain money and just want to be busy overall. So with that, getting to know, like I said, we do talk a lot of priests in this and the college students. However, I just want to know more about how he was raised, what his parents thought of him, his friends. Yeah, you do get that, but I want to know more of like what he did. And that's kind of a bummer because you're like, yeah, he did some filming, he made a website and things like that, but it's like, give me more. I want this ticket. I bought this ticket before you give me more information about this kid or the saint. And it was just like, more about the priest and talk about technology, which is fine because this is technological saint, millennial saint. However, I think I was craving more of, going into this movie, but I did earn or gain a lot of information overall. And being in France recently for Lords, Rome is not in France, duh. But I think it would be a good idea to go to Rome and just see this because I think he was buried in Assisi, Italy. And I know they're trying to do something with him at the Vatican, but with Pope Francis dying, they pushed his ceremony back. So overall, Carlo Acutis Roadmap to Reality, I think it gave enough information for newbies and people that are really religious involved. However, I do think a lot of people in the audience were expecting just a little bit more about knowing who the saint is, what he's done, and just the overall aspect. Because I'll just leave it at that. So Carlo Acutis Roadmap to Reality will receive a 3.5 out of 5 Futons, which equals that 70%. So let's see the critics and user scores gave this one. Critics were at a 1 of them, and they gave it a positive 85%. Audience score 98%, and of course you have my 70%. So there we go, 85, 70, 98. Chase Hawk here with the Blue Futon. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know on these Butontopia, you Blue Futonians. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Watch stay tomorrow, week from now, month, or a year from now. I'll every single freaking one of you. Peace, love, and just be a good person. Just be a good person.